One, two, three.
Oh, hey, Alexander.
I've always wanted to start a video with the classic, "Oh, hi, I didn't see you there." And you just did that. You made my life. Yay. Well,
Oh
my name
boy,
is
you
Alexander.
know, I try to make dreams come true wherever I can.
That's going to be the rest of our conversation. Thomas Kinzel, dream maker.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Sleazy producer conversation.
Yeah, I'll
Um,
leave my info in the comments later and or in the wherever you leave info. I don't know.
yeah, that should be on your website though, for sure.
Yeah.
Hi, my friend. So we're doing another chat like we did for my first single, Afterglow, about sort of how the song was made, how it was conceived, and how we recorded it, and things like that. And then, so this time we're talking about Get What You Need, which is my second single out recently.
Yeah,
Uh,
congrats.
Thank you. It feels good to have that song out. Yeah. It's a long time coming. So just thought we'd kind of, like we did last time, chat about the process for this one, which is a lot longer process than it was for Afterglow. A
Yeah,
lot
I think we
longer.
started that one, what, 7 years ago? Or yeah.
For
Yeah.
Get What You Need. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Crazy. Um,
Actually, you started that song a long time ago, didn't you? Which
yeah.
is
So
actually might be an appropriate time to ask you how you like what made you write it and when did you write it?
I wrote that song in, I think, 2012, maybe 2013.
Okay.
So yeah, it's been around for a while. But this is the first time it's been officially released. I've played it at a few shows over the years. Yeah, what made me write it? That's a good question. I was walking around near my neighborhood in sort of Cook Street, Rockland area in Victoria, BC, and it was one of those moments as a songwriter that I find quite magical, where the song just goes all at once, and you go, stop everything. I think I was just having a coffee, so I had time to stop everything too. It was easy to do that, but I remember just going, stop everything. I've I've got to finish this song because it's all coming to me right now. Um, and I just remember like writing lyrics on my iPhone, and I think I was listening to another song. I can't remember for sure what it was. It's not, I didn't. It's not the same song. I didn't steal the song for this song, but there was something about the beat of it that I went, oh, that with the mood that what I'm pondering, um, and it all just kind of came at once. And I remember like just being really like fired up as an artist and walking around like needing to kind of walk while it came and then
Hmm.
stopping. Like I would walk down the street and then I'd sit on a tree. It was a pretty sunny day, like not sit on a tree, to be clear, at a tree, base of a tree. Yeah, I climbed a tree. No, that
Yeah.
didn't happen. And I'd stop and I'd write some lyrics and I'd be like, okay, I gotta walk some more while I think of the next part. And yeah, it really all came at once. And then I went back to my apartment where I had at the time, I have the studio now. At the time, I just had all my gear in my apartment, using headphones to not wake up the neighbors. And I remember just getting at the demo right then. I was like, I have to get this all out because it's here now. Um, and yeah,
So, are you a voice memo guy? Like, if you like
mm.
when the song comes to you, like, did you just? I'm
Sometimes
assuming it like a melody and everything came to you. So, did you?
Well, in
Would
this, yeah, in general, I will sometimes pull up a voice memo if I'm worried that an idea will go away and that I am in the middle of something else. But at that moment, it was like it's all going on in my head as it's coming to me. So I
right?
didn't need to like stop to. I was writing down lyrics for sure. Yeah, and then I just got it, opened up Logic and pulled up piano, pulled up a drum program, bass, and got at it. And the foundation of the song of like what's now out in the world, um, the basic arrangement even is all there, which I feel really great about that. It's I'm really honoring that moment where all that song came. All of the song came at once. Yeah, yeah.
Awesome, awesome. So, like, you basically wrote it in like 2 hours,
It was
But
probably longer than that, but it might
th-
have been like three or four, and then it was done, including the demo. Like it was just, I was like, oh my gosh, I have this gem now that I didn't have when I woke up this morning. So
and then it sat in demo land on your computer for a few years,
for
and
years,
then
yeah, I played it with a in a few shows here and there. I think
oh, so you did it live? Okay.
I did do it live. I played a couple shows with the band Foxglove, another awesome local.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
And I played that song there. That might have been the only place I ever performed the song though, but I remember being really excited about it. It just didn't quite, it didn't sound like any of the bands that I was in, so it didn't, it was my song. So yeah, glad it's finally out in the world.
Yeah, it's a really fun song. Yeah.
Thank
And I
you.
was super happy to be on it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I guess the only other thing before we continue the journey of what happened next to the song is um, sort of when you asked me what made me write the song, other than it all came at
Hmm.
once, it was me thinking, like just talking about the meaning of the song a bit more. It was me thinking about those times in relationships. Romantic relationship was is what fueled the song, and that's a particular one. Um, but those times in relationships where your own fears, insecurities, and memories of past relationships that didn't go as well or didn't work in certain areas the way that you wanted them to. Um, those things when they get in the way of what's happening right now with somebody, and that's maybe not what's happening with this person, like those old
Hmm.
fears and those things you're worrying about, that's not really what's going on. And being in sort of those tense times in the current relationship where you're kind of working through that with the person, like why are you upset or why am I upset, and I don't know, it's sort of confusing what's even happened. And then you come to a point where you realize, oh, like the biggest fear of I think one of the biggest fears there is that the other person will leave, that it'll be the end, or that maybe you're not going to receive the love that you want. And then you realize in talking to that person, I'm like, oh, those are my hangups, and maybe their hangups too, like coming from them, um, that are causing this tension from past issues more than what's coming up right now. And I guess the foundation of what's going on in this relationship is that we really won't both want the best for each other. So that's what the song's
Right.
really about, is that finding that moment through kind of tense times where you go, oh wait, I don't have to worry that you won't be there for me because I keep fearing these things and you keep showing up, and I'm trying to do the same for you. And you know that it's about that. It's that being there for each other, and really listening to each other about what they want, and having them listen to you about what you're wanting to, and even if that means that you both go your separate ways, um, natural flow of your lives, that that you've got each other's backs, that you wish well for them and you want them to get what they need.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Good sound, yeah. So
Yeah, fantastic.
I feel, yeah, it feels like a good song to be out right now, and that it's also something that, as a songwriter, I feel like some songs you write them and they're about this situation and this person or what you're thinking about then, and years later you go, oh, that's a little time capsule of that time. This one for me, it's a bit that. It's not that it isn't that, but it's one that keeps evolving. So I'll be later in my life in a different relationship, whether it's a friendship or romantic, and I'll go, oh, that's what this is about now, or this is about my interaction kind of with the world right now, or it's sort of evolved. But I think it felt like a good time to finally get the song out. I always thought it would be the first single, even though Afterglow kind of came suddenly and quickly, and I felt great about releasing that first, in our great writing sessions. But this one was always the one I thought would be
Yeah.
the first one. So glad it's out.
So a lot of people, they journal for like personal therapeutic ways to just sort of express
Yeah.
life and everything. Do you find that when you write songs that that's sort of um, a therapeutic outlet or something that you just, you like to get things down in words and then you're able to reflect on them and be like, hey, this is helping me
Yeah,
in life understand things and or just a
yeah,
way to get or yeah.
I think so. I think it's like a lot of my songs that I've written are me processing from whatever perspective I'm in that moment, what's going on either now, or I'm still trying to work out how I handled something in the past, or what was that? What did that mean to me? But yeah, it's like my different internal processing, I think, comes out in the lyrics of my songs a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's great. Yeah.
Simple
Yeah.
answer for now. Yeah.
Yeah. Gives it a deeper meaning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I do. It's a personal song for sure, but I
Yeah.
also think, like I'm gonna call it a pop song. It maybe doesn't sound like everybody's definition of a pop song, but um, I think, you always want to have a little element where someone else can go, oh, hey, I relate to that. And sometimes it's because you make the song general enough that anybody can go, oh, I get that. And sometimes it's something more subtle than the song that someone goes, oh, that makes me think of this person. Maybe the song lists the name of somebody else, but yeah.
Yeah.
So I hope to have a bit of that in the writing too, where other people can respond in their own way. And there's always that. I do that with my favorite artists all the time. There's a certain part of me that pretends that that's my story that they're singing. That
Yeah,
and I think
exactly.
that's being a singer and artist is wanting to be like, hey, I want to do that too. I want to sing that story. So
That's awesome. So as far as the production and the actual, you know, pop feel of it and all that,
yeah,
where did like what bands inspired you in that? Like when you wrote that song, who were you listening to? Is there elements of
oh,
XYZ band all kind of glued together in that?
I think there's elements of really specific things that were sort of not specific bands, but like there's the drum beat at the beginning has a little bit of like in the kick drum pattern has a little bit of like kind of a New Orleans street beat
Hmm.
groove. That was on purpose, and I had recently been to New Orleans and been super inspired by that. I don't think this song sounds like a New Orleans song, but it's a little element that I'm glad made it in there. Um, but I think it's part of why I really love the song is it doesn't feel like me going, oh, it's that band that's really inspiring this song. It felt like a lot of my influences all coming together in me, filtered through me in my own creativity, which is nice because sometimes I do write a song and I'm like, this is my song that sounds like Dave Matthews Band, and this is my song that sounds like um, John Mayer or whatever. People that
Yeah.
other people certainly that have influenced me, but this one felt like I've got all the tools at my fingertips of where I'm at in my life, and I'm gonna write the song from there. So yeah, not specific bands, which is interesting because that does sometimes come up for me. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Cool.
So that's the beginning, and then where do we go from there? I'll ask you what happened next with the song when you started getting involved.
Well, I think that was when we were just kind of geeking out in the studio and wanting to record stuff and
Yeah.
figure out, certain mics and plugins and how to, just the how to and just to become better engineers, really.
Wait.
Um,
I mean, we've said this before, but that's like a big part of how our friendship grew. I think too is just
yeah,
nerding out over that stuff and like, hey man, I'm trying this microphone. Have you ever tried it before? What does it sound like? Things like that.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so this was, like rather than just getting together and recording random bits with no context, luckily you had a catalog of songs, and then you mentioned that this is one that you've always wanted to record.
Yeah.
And so I think that's how it all started was, hey, let's use this song and just start recording it and see what happens, and then if it turns out great, then you'll use it for your upcoming EP or
Yeah, I
right?
like
I
that
think
about it. That we just wanted something to keep exploring recording with, to try this, to try that, and we thought, well, let's do a song and not just like an 8-bar loop of drumming,
yeah.
going cool drum tone, but what is this for? But we also didn't have like a deadline, which is why it took so long for the song to come out. Of like, oh, this song's for sure gonna come out, and we want to get it done in this month. It wasn't in a like a kind of deadline work mode, which I really liked too. So we could explore it. Well, let's
Yeah.
try adding this now. And a lot of the pieces came from the demo too, which is kind of cool. Like, I don't know, I think most of the performances were redone, but there's like a synth sound in the chorus that goes that I think the original synth sound made it in, but we layered in a new one when you and I were just playing around with production.
Hmm.
I think the piano solo, strangely enough, in the end, I think was from give or take a couple little edits from the original demo that I made, and it just always felt like the right solo for that song. So don't reinvent the wheel if it's
Yeah.
working, kind of thing, or if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah,
Uh, Bruce Hornsby inspired. True or false?
I love Bruce Hornsby. Yeah, so probably everything I play is a very
Yeah.
small percentage wanting to be Bruce Hornsby. I know you like
Oh
him,
man.
so
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
yeah, he might be my favorite piano player out there.
Oh man, he's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. So what did we? I'm just trying to think back because this was so long ago now.
Yeah, like we're talking a couple years ago. This was not
Yeah,
a rushed process. Yeah.
I think the first thing we replaced when we got going was the drums, right? From
The
the
ones that
demo.
you recorded kind of thing, like with
Yeah.
me. Yeah, and Thomas is one of these great guys who can play like not I'm not going to say everything, although maybe that's true, but like a little bit of many things. He's a killer piano player, a killer recordist, great friend. But he's like, well, I do have a bass and I don't really play much, but I can do a little. We could give it a go, and we could play a little guitar. I could do a bit of drums. You had played drums for a few shows that I'd played with my band Impulse Response back in the days. So like I kind of knew
Yeah.
you could play a little bit there too. And yeah, I think we did drums first.
I think we did drums and then we just, you know, I have a guitar and a bass guitar here in the studio,
Yeah,
and it was just more because this was just going to be our fun project that I'm like, you know what?
yeah,
I'm just going to put this out there. I'm not a bass player, I'm not a guitar player by any means. So this was just more, hey, if you can give me the part, I can like sit there for the next whatever half hour and try and figure it out.
yeah.
And if I can get it, great. And if it's really sucking, we'll just, obviously hire a professional to come in and do it. So
Part,
luckily, I think the parts were just playable for me, and with a lot of editing on your behalf,
yeah. Well,
it
I mean,
we ended up.
we were kind of editing on the spot so that both you and I went, hey, that works. And
Yeah,
one of the
yeah,
things, like, your bass playing and guitar playing made the final cut. Your drumming didn't for different reasons, not to do with the quality of the you're playing. Um, but it made the final cut because it supported the song the right way. It was felt right. Could have
yeah,
brought in another bass player friend that I know, and they probably would have killed it. It might have been amazing, but I went, this is working. Why re-record something that already feels right?
yeah.
So
Well, thanks for your patience. I had fun. I
I
know
had
it was
fun
a
too.
fun time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
And the reason your drumming didn't make the cut is two reasons. Is one is we became better drum engineers after that, I think, and we
yeah,
started picking like we had these two of your sort of pencil condenser mics you had, and
yeah.
as overheads, and not that that's wrong. And for another song, they would have been great.
For that song, it was wrong.
It was like getting a little tinny, just a
Yeah,
little like, oh, this is not what we're going for, and you don't want to try and fix it in the mix that much. So there was that, and then even more than because I remember working on it after and starting to get an okay sound anyway, just with like carving out with EQ too much and saturating, and trying to get an interesting sound from it. But then after all that, and this is my fault because it really was me saying, "Hey, here's the demo drums. Do basically that," because I was happy with the basic flow of it, at least arrangement wise. Um, and then yeah, so I just remember me asking you to play what 16th notes, and that's not what was on the demo, nor did I like it after the fact. And I went, oh, I just totally forgot that, yeah, it was eighth notes. And it just felt like there was so much more space with the eighth notes, just kind of keeping simple time. It was like more atmosphere to it.
yeah.
So, yeah, we, uh,
And there's sort of a lesson in producing too. It's like if uh, if something just doesn't feel right, then sometimes the only way is just to scrap it and
yeah,
re-record. Just
for
start
sure.
over rather than try and shoehorn it into a
Yeah.
corner. Um,
Like
re-record it.
you recorded some Hammond stuff on the song as well. I remember I have a Rhodes here. I played some Rhodes in the bridge. Piano parts was me, I think. I did that. Yeah, I did all the piano parts. You did a little bit of keyboards. Surprisingly, you did a lot more not your main instrument on this song than.
Yeah, actually, I don't even remember what I did,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So, well, yeah, and luckily we had a good buddy that rocks at the drums.
Yeah, shout out to Alex Campbell, great
Yes.
uh, Victoria, BC drummer that we both worked with. You introduced me to him. Well, actually, I met him with you. We went to a recording workshop. I think it was a how to record drums workshop at Long McQuaid with Joby Baker, who's a great
Oh,
local recording engineer and producer. Um, and Alex was there, and he was nice. We kind of sat beside each other because you guys had worked together before, and I'd never met him. I remember going, "Oh, that guy's nice." You're getting along and chatting. And after the show, I'm pretty sure you said, "Hey, man, if you ever want a really good drummer, like every time I play a show with him, I'm really happy. Every time I'm like, oh, that was a great show." So I ended up hiring him for shows with Impulse Response and my own trio. And yeah, I felt very similar. I was like, oh, this is always goes well when I play music with Alex, and he's become a good friend. And yeah, I really was really happy. So we called him up and he said, "Hey, you want to come play?" And he said, "Oh, yeah, sure, that sounds good." Showed up in my studio. This is probably like a year or two after you and I first started at all of this.
yeah.
I think we got together every like 6 months and went, "Oh yeah, that song. Let's," in our busy lives, we kind of would think to do it again. Yeah, and I can't remember. Like we just recorded in my little dead room right over there, and
Yeah.
pretty simple drum setups, pair of ribbon microphones as the overhead, so it didn't have that clangy, far too bright sound.
Another thing that we picked up at that drum workshop, thanks to Joby.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah,
yeah, for sure.
yeah, those ribbon mics, that was the answer.
And
Well,
I
part of the answer.
was really
Yeah.
happy with the sound for sure right away. Yeah, I definitely felt like after that drum recording, not only did we get the right drum pattern, and Alex brought his own flair. There's certain drum fills that I didn't ask for that he just did his thing, and I went, yes, thank you. But we got a drum tone that I went, oh, okay, yeah, yeah, here
Hmm.
we go. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
very happy with it. Yeah, and then what happened from there? Nothing for a long time, and then you and I ended up writing this song together called Afterglow, and releasing it, and kind of got focused on that. Again, I always thought Get What You Need would be the first song of mine to come out as a solo artist, but
Hmm.
we just got on a flow with that song, and it went way faster than Get What You Need. Not That's not better or worse. It's just the way it went, and I was just so happy with it. I was like, this is this moment right now. It needs to come out. Went great. Love that song. And then when that was done, I was like, okay, well, I've got this almost finished song. Get What You Need. We have drums. We have all the parts. I'm happy with the arrangement. Just had to add vocals, which I think I just got at
Yeah.
as soon as I was inspired to. Soon after Afterglow kind of all came out.
Well,
Um,
this kind of kickstarted a kind of a cool thing for you because you've been writing with a whole bunch of friends, and
yeah, yeah. I
um,
mean, Get What You Need
I
is
won't give away
yeah,
any secrets, but you've got a whole bunch of songs coming out with various people in the
yeah.
future,
There's
don't you?
stuff coming down the pipeline.
Yep.
The only reason to be, I mean, they're not secrets, but they're not all finished yet. But
Yes.
I've been writing with your partner Tina, who's a great singer songwriter, and we got been writing with my friend Kara Bateman too, and there's
Hmm.
a song there that might even be featuring Tina. Dot dot dot. We'll see. But that sounded really good, and then yeah, I really have enjoyed doing some co-writing over sort of the COVID times. But yeah, Get What You Need was just me in this magical moment. Um, yeah. So yeah,
Awesome.
I recorded my own vocals in the booth. I always like it when someone else can man the recording while I'm singing, but COVID times pretty isolated. I just
Yeah.
did my thing, and um,
Were you wearing your pop filter when you?
wearing the pop filter. Well, no one else was here, so there was a
No.
pop filter, but I didn't have to mask up that way. It's a sealed room, perfectly happy and healthy. Um, yeah. What else
Awesome.
happened after that? So I recorded my lead vocals. Um, Background vocals happened on a different day. I just decided I used my Neumann for the lead vocals, and then I have an SM7B Shure that I use for background vocals, and I just wanted to try a different mic so that you immediately have a little bit of mixing done for you in a way, like in terms of
Yeah.
production choice, where you kind of go, oh, those background vocals blend, but still sound like they're on a different mic in a different space, so that kind of puts them a little more in the background. And SM7B isn't quite as bright and clear, obviously, as the Neumann condenser, so which is U87. Yeah, feel really good about
Cool. And then you obviously you did all your own mixing and your own mastering.
Yeah, I think you and I talked about. Did we talk about maybe doing some mixing together? I think maybe not on this one. I think I was just gonna get it done. I wanted.
Yeah, I don't think on this one. Yeah, you just kind of took it and
We did talk about maybe you doing the mastering, which I'm sad we didn't get to, but we just hit a point where I was in the flow of mixing mastering where I was like, this is almost done and I'm happy with it and I want to get it out into the world.
sometimes you just gotta call it. It's it sounds great. Get
Yeah.
it out there. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think yeah, that's an interesting thing as an artist, right? To there's like a part of you that just wants to keep exploring and like it's never done because we could try this, we could
Yeah, I mean, we could be doing this for another 10 years, you
and
know?
then another
Yeah,
part of you says, "Well, I want someone to hear this song. You know, I want it to be listened
that's
to,
the idea.
to, and hopefully
Yeah,
enjoyed." Yeah. So you can get it on all the streaming places, and it's on Bandcamp as well. And
cool. So
out there,
Bandcamp,
Ferguson.
Spotify, what title?
Tidal, I like Tidal a lot. I like
I
my finest of that.
iTunes?
It's on iTunes, Apple Music, all the places. Yeah,
Cool.
get what you
Awesome.
need. Go get
Go
it.
get it.
Yeah. Anything else we need to chat about, or any other
You did
questions?
your own artwork, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was trying to figure out what the artwork would be, um, and I was a bit inspired by. I'm a Jason Mraz fan. He has an album that sort of has a hand-drawn cover, and we sing, we dance, we steal things, which I love that record. So that's kind of was in the back of my mind. So I thought, well, Afterglow had this album art that was this epic sky shot, glorious kind of feeling. I thought, well, what if we go the other way here, and it's a hand-drawn, simple, straightforward um, artwork. So it's yeah, it's there's sort of these symbols that I just drew. I drew it in like the simplest of programs in Google Keep, simplest of programs with
Never even heard of Google Keep.
a little bit of editing. What's that?
I've never even heard of Google Keep.
It's just their note program. So I have
Oh,
it on my phone, and I just scribbled with my finger, kind of thing, and a little bit of erasing after. I didn't get perfect right away. And it was just based on the idea of um, like the official needs, which are not official at all, of what food, water, shelter, clothing,
mhm.
like being the basic needs kind of thing. I'm sure you could argue that there's many other basic needs, so I thought I'd add my own 2 cents, and I put a heart, meaning that love and care and kindness is also an important need,
Nice.
which this song's about. So I just thought it was kind of fun, and I don't know, it was kind of cute and fun to do my own drawing and to be a little bit more homemade and simple on this
Yeah.
this
I
album.
love it. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
great.
you helped me with the layout and things like that, uncredited, but we did a quick Zoom call, I think, and it was done in
Yep.
that day, really quick.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty quick.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. Thanks. It's always good
Yeah.
working with you, my friend. I love all of your work on this song and co-recording, engineering it with me, and all of your playing. Sounds really killer. It's the right things for the right song, I think.
Yeah. I mean, you always learn something in every project, you
For
know,
sure. Yeah.
what to do, what not to do. Like,
Yeah.
hire me as a bass player and a guitar player.
Apparently,
No,
that's what to
no,
do
yeah,
because I'm really happy
no.
with the bass and
Yeah, I'm
guitar
just,
parts.
yeah.
I think
Uh,
had we done this chat, had the song not taken so long to finally finish recording, I think this chat would have been way longer because we would have remembered what mics we used on the kick drum and we would have remembered exactly the mixing process and but yeah, it's been a little while enough that those are the I feel like we hit the main bullet points. The things that stick sometimes are the things worth saying. So yeah,
yeah.
thanks,
Well,
my
I
friend.
gotta say again, congrats. It's an awesome song. It's really fun. And yeah, wish you lots of success with it.
Thanks, my friend. Here's to the next one, the next project, which we're kind of already working on.
Yeah.
Teaser. Have a good day, my friend.
You
Bye.
too. Cheers.